Does my voice sound cleared?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I cleared my throat. But if you could remind me to do it periodically throughout the recording, maybe that would be helpful. And then edit out you reminding me to do it and me clearing my throat.
You want me to remind you to clear your throat?
As needed. Apparently, I don't hear it myself, and it's a huge problem. Or you're just making it seem like a huge problem, and
Why
it's
do
not
you
actually.
even need to clear your throat so often? Is it because any ideas why you would need to clear your throats more than every other human being? Normal
Because
human
I'm
beings?
constantly trying to choke down more and more of your fucking bullshit. Let's get this podcast started.
Cross me up. Don't snap. Don't breathe. Just to leave me up your skin. And baby begin.
Fuck you. Why would you come at me like this already? Do you not want to do this? You've been fucking ducking this for weeks. Is it because I haven't learned how to edit? Well, is that right? Did I not learn how to edit soon enough? And so now that you're no longer interested in this?
Edit what?
Our podcast.
I never thought that you would be able to learn how to edit this podcast. Not because it's difficult at all, but just because it requires a minimal amount of effort, concentrated effort, which you're not capable of giving. I never had. Welcome to Phone Wallet Keys, David
Well,
Ortiz.
if it's not that I haven't been editing, why has it taken you so long to return my phone calls? It's it feels unbrotherly, like unbrotherly conduct. How difficult it's been to get in touch with you.
Well, you moved to London. That wasn't a thing that we discussed together. That was a decision that you made on your own. And then you made another decision once you moved to London, which was to not figure out how time differences work. So you've been calling me at 7 a.m.
8:30 in the morning is not 7 a.m. I admit it's 8:30 on the weekend, which is not great. But Sam, you could just call me back anytime after that, and yet you never do, and you don't text me back, and you also refuse to save my number in your phone so that every time you tried to text me, it hasn't worked.
What?
We could
Ladies and
ameliorate some of these communication problems if you would actually just take 1 second of concentrated effort and save my new number into your phone.
If that wouldn't change anything. If I
It
saved the
would!
number into the phone. No, it wouldn't. And I refuse, so it's a moot point anyway. Welcome to Phone Wallet Keys, David Ortiz. This is season 3, episode 2. It's been a few weeks since you've heard from us.
But we did promise that we were back.
Yes.
And then we broke that promise immediately.
Well, no, it wasn't entirely our fault. We did actually make a full episode.
Oh, I was not going to tell them that this happened.
And ready to be released. But the entire episode was us just praising Antonio Brown, the rapist. It turned out that he was a rapist, and that information came out
mere hours
before our hour-long podcast praising him came out. So I think that kind of rocked us for a little bit. I needed a couple weeks to process.
Because you're the only one doing the editing?
Again, I don't know what relevance that has, but no.
I don't either, but I just can't understand where you're I have managed to forgo my own ego in this and allow you to say whatever horrible thing pops into your head because you think it gives you Toby ratings. But I have told the world that I have a podcast, that I'm yet another dude with podcast.
Clear your throat.
Thank you, Sam. Sorry. Let's just go. Let's just get into it. Fuck it.
I'm not even going to try and help you finish that thought. In fact, you didn't even need to clear your throat. I just was trying to save you from trying to piece that together. So, this is a sports podcast where me and my brother talk about some of the Boston sports issues.
Also, did you know that the Connecticut Sun, our local WNBA team, is in the WNBA finals?
Against who?
The Washington Mystics.
Boston doesn't have a WNBA team?
No, Connecticut does, because Connecticut has the UConn women's basketball team, and so a built-in market for women's basketball, the thinking went.
And so...
Also, Boston hates women, so don't forget that part.
But Connecticut doesn't?
Well, they don't hate women's basketball because they have the most successful women's basketball team of all.
I
The UConn women's basketball is the most successful college sport, if any. Like, you know what I mean? It's John Wooden basketball-esque.
And
or
so
men's basketball.
So who's who are some of the big players in the WNBA championship?
I mean, look. Would you like to watch a WNBA game?
Yeah, I'm down. When's the next one?
I think it's tonight.
Okay, yeah, let's watch a WNBA game. See what happens. I mean, I don't know if I can root for Connecticut.
Against Washington, D.C.?
Yeah. I'd frankly rather spend the afternoon in D.C.
Yeah, sure, but like...
Plus, I think the Mystics is a way cooler name than the Sun. Why is it even...
It's weird that we didn't get the Connecticut... We didn't get the Mystics name because Connecticut has like the Mystic River, doesn't it?
No, that's Massachusetts.
But doesn't it go into Connecticut?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, does it? I don't know. Ask Dennis Lee Hain. He should be a guest on this podcast anyway.
Who's that?
The guy who wrote Mystic River and all those other Boston books. Did you forget where you came from, brother? You don't know our literary history? Basically, if there is been a Boston movie in the last decade, it's like got a...
Which there has been.
1 in 9 chance of being based on his book, as far as I can tell. There's 9 genres of Boston movie, which we'll get into at a different podcast, and one of them is Dennis Lehane filmic versions.
Okay.
Another is Denzel Washington working at the Home Depot on I-93. That's its own genre.
What? Okay. What else?
No, we're not. We have to continue apologizing to the audience.
You kind of get off on this apology thing now, don't you?
Well, we owe them a lot.
It's like when you teach a child a new word, and they just they just dog, and they're like, "No, sweetie, that's chair." Dog, no, sweetie, that's a plane. Dog, dog, dog. But in your case, it's apologizing. So, since that we're completely unprepared or incapable of talking about the WNBA finals, do you want to talk about football?
Sure.
Did you watch the game 2 days ago?
Yeah, I did. I watched
What'd
it
you
in
think?
London. So, how's your new job going?
It's good.
Like, are you a food and beverages manager now? Are you
No.
hiring bartenders?
No.
Are you the boss? Are you management?
No.
What is your relationship to the means of production
I'm doing
currently?
it.
What?
I'm doing it. I am the means of production.
Do you not know how to answer that question?
What do you mean? I am the
Like,
means
workers
of production.
don't walk down the street being like in an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice, I am the means of production. They just walk down the street calling themselves workers. So you're still a bartender?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought you were a special bartender when they hired you to like... Isn't this like a weird a weird gimmicky restaurant vibe with like a Marxist-Leninist twist?
Hardly. I think the owners floated this idea of a profit share with the employees, and we all fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. And then they also were like, "We're gonna do, we believe in, like we're against hierarchy. We believe in radical equality. So that's why we're not gonna hire a dishwasher or a porter or a busboy or even a chef." And so now, but it's just, it was, and we're going to give you a profit share, but it was just a way for them to save a bunch of money on labor costs.
I see. So you're being manipulated.
Yeah, but it's the nicest place. They let me do what I want there. It's cool. I'm kind of, there's no managers either, which is nice.
There's no bosses.
There are the owners, but who knows how long they'll be around, you know? I mean, we just opened, so they're around a lot. And they seem great. I really like them. We're all getting along.
Are you making money?
I don't know.
Wait,
It's
what do you
nice
mean
to
you don't know?
I don't know if I'm making any money yet. I actually have no fucking idea. Because when it's
Have
good,
you told them that you have like a certain lifestyle you'd like to keep, which like involves 2 meals a day?
I said at one point, I'm a little bit concerned that I'm not gonna be making enough money here, and it's gonna be a lot of extra work. And they said, whatever you need to get paid, we'll take care of you. It's
And
fun.
does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me too. I love when bar owners who refuse to hire managers are just like, if you need money, I'll give you some.
Yeah.
Just let me know where I can tune into the webcam of you performing like degrading tasks as an exploited worker.
Should I put it go on like Instagram Live on Phone Wallet Keys, David Ortiz Live?
Maybe we should just start a new website called like exploited worker Jews, and have you like ASMRing some like shitty side work task.
Clear your throat. Do you want to regale us with a few observations of what life is like in London? We're all dying to know.
No. I did the weirdly the accountant is on Netflix here. Is it on Netflix in the US?
I don't know. The Ben Affleck movie?
Yeah, will you check?
Why do you ask?
Cuz like I love that movie, right? It's really good, but like there's some parts that are really like implausible.
Okay.
Like they never break down how you like go about like recruiting or hiring the accountant. I think that the follow-up movie needs to be a prequel, which like helps us understand how the woman who doesn't speak and only communicates with a computer like gets clients like in the cartels and like Afghani opium pipeline money. Like how does like sure it's plausible that an autistic commando assassin is really good at being an accountant and a murderer, but it doesn't make sense about how they hire him in the first place. I noticed.
This is your observation about life in England?
Well, do you have the account on Netflix?
It's not here, no.
Well, that sucks for you guys.
Okay.
I guess we have to talk about it.
So
No, I mean, it's like it's crazy here. I would say that like people feel like it's okay to stop like supporting the Labour Party right now because of how they've handled Brexit. And it just doesn't feel like that doesn't it feels like crazy to me.
Why?
So I've been sort of like walking around a little bit alarmed by the political vibe here. I mean, because Corbyn was like articulated a pro labor, a pro poor people Brexit. You know?
Okay.
And hasn't like there's people who believe that he should have been more just sort of like, we are the party of Remain. We are not interested. We are like going to be in opposition to this, and that's it. That's all we're gonna do. But like they couldn't really do that, or like Corbyn didn't do that, and it still isn't like it's still unclear what's going to happen with Brexit. But what has happened is that like he has come under unprecedented attack from rich people and Zionists, and because of people's sort of like malaise around Brexit, they're not sort of defending Corbyn enough. Like Corbyn is under assault from like the Gordon Browns and Tony Blairs in his own party, plus the Tories, you know? And still his wing of the party is doing all this awesome shit in their conference. Like they had like their own sort of like DNC where they generated a platform, right? And they're like, the platform they generated is fucking awesome. It's Green New Deal and anti-austerity. And it's like open borders and like anti-white supremacy. And they're going to stop giving weapons immediately to Israel. And they supported the Palestinian right of return. It's like the first time in the history of the fucking British Empire that there's an opportunity to have someone who's anti-empire in charge of the Labour Party. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't it be great if all of a sudden, like, British troops stopped killing Iraqis and Afghanistans for the first time in 25 years, and they were no longer seizing Iranian ships in open waters at the behest of the USA?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be awesome if England was like a strong proponent of the internationalist People's Green New Deal? Doesn't that seem like more important than anything else, maybe even?
Yeah, maybe. Except the Patriots. And
Yeah,
their
I
quest
mean,
to go. Their quest
I
to
don't
go
know if he
undefeated
could, like,
once again.
so do you think, like, what do you think about the idea about, like, us just waiting for, like, the air to clear and signing Antonio Brown again?
We are in desperate need. It didn't feel like it at the time when we lost him, when we released him after. So, okay,
Here's
I
what
do want to
happened.
just.
We didn't have Antonio Brown. We beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 30-3. We did have Antonio Brown. We beat the Dolphins like 46-0.
Yeah.
We didn't have Antonio Brown. We beat the Jets by a lot,
Yeah.
like 30-6, like to 14, and those 14 points weren't against the defense.
Yeah.
And then we only scored 16 points against the Bills, and is actually only 10 points by the offense.
Yeah. I mean, and even though that is like, those were all set up by our defense. Here's what's going on. I'm going to bring you up to speed. We're 4 games into the season right now. The Patriots are undefeated, as we just covered. But the biggest storyline thus
Sam,
far.
wait, have you deleted the part in the earlier episode where you supported Andrew Yang?
What?
Have you gone back into the previous episode archives and deleted the part where you supported Andrew Yang?
I've never supported Andrew Yang over the candidate that I've endorsed, which is Bernie Sanders for president in 2020. But I do like certain things about Andrew Yang, primarily him giving me $1,000 a month.
Did you
That
give him
sounds
money?
great. Yeah.
You gave Andrew Yang money.
For sure, because I
You
gave
are
the
therefore
concept of universal basic
technically
income.
a supporter of Andrew Yang. Is that fair
I
to
want
say?
Andrew Yang in the race as long as he can stay in it. I want him on the national debate stage talking about universal basic income so it becomes an idea that is normalized. I don't want universal basic income without democratic socialism because that's just in the service of the capitalist one percenters. But I do want universal basic income if it also comes with housing as a human right and healthcare and a Green New Deal and free education.
I just want to make
etc.
sure I heard you correctly. You have at one point been a at least financial supporter of Andrew Yang, and you don't renounce this.
Absolutely not.
Okay, cool.
Why
Go
should
on.
I?
Let's go back to football.
Okay.
Catch us back up to speed. Bills game. It was
Are you
not
going
a
to
good
rudely
game.
interrupt me with complete nonsense again? Asking
Yes.
about my job or my political affiliations? Are you going to finally let me
I
fucking
admit
talk
that your
about
job
football?
does sound like nonsense, and I readily admit that your support of Andrew Yang is. So I will not.
So
do
why
that
are you
anymore.
bringing them both up while I'm trying to talk about football? Well, this is a fucking sports podcast, and you won't let me fucking talk about sports. You want to talk about some boring ass bullshit in British politics, which no one has any idea what you're talking about. And then when I'm trying to talk about the fucking Patriots, you're like, wait, but did you support Andrew Yang? Like, where is that even fucking coming from? How does your mind work? Does it feel bad in your brain, or does it just feel bad if you're standing in front of you trying to have a conversation with you?
No, you didn't engage with my quote unquote boring ass shit about British politics whatsoever, which pissed me off and made it seem like that whole segment should have been cut and was bad. And so, like, your, as you say, nonsensical support of Andrew Yang is something that I am willing to engage on. So I brought that up because since you demonstrated a willful ignorance about British politics and an unwillingness to engage, I thought if I brought up Andrew Yang, we could tease out some engagement.
Okay.
No,
What do you have
that's
to
why
say?
it happened. You asked and I answered. I have to clear
You
my
didn't
throat.
engage. It's like you were setting me up for something
No,
that you then
now that
didn't-
you readily admit that you are a supporter of Andrew Yang, I am ready to proceed.
proceed with what?
This line of fucking podcasting.
So go ahead.
I am going ahead.
Proceed.
I think it's wrong of you to do that, and you should formally renounce that you support this white supremacist, loved, pro ban of all circumcision, including Jewish religious circumcision, New England Patriots hater. Because Andrew Yang does three things on Twitter: get retweeted by white supremacists, hate on the Patriots, and not talk about his everlasting disdain for the exquisite art of being a moil.
Well, I do think that we should talk about circumcision in general.
Because it's awesome.
No, because it's barbaric and nonsensical.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Unless you really truly believe in this mystical cult of Abraham, then there's no reason to circumcise your children, ladies and gentlemen. Do not do it. Unless
What
you're
about
actually...
aesthetics? Because uncircumcised dicks look gross. So there's that reason, everybody. And also cleanliness, because I don't know about you, but I don't like the spread of fatal sexually transmitted diseases, though I think maybe you have syphilis and that's why you support Andrew Yang, because that would explain things.
The fucking health reasons for circumcision have long been debunked. They were basically a conspiracy orchestrated on a massive scale by a Jewish doctor in the 80s, and they bear no...
Oh my god. Oh my
That's
god,
true.
everybody. Sam, you have to delete this. You can't be talking about Jewish doctor conspiracies on our podcast. I'm out.
It's true.
I'm out. Stop doing that. You can't do that. It's really bad for my reputation. It's bad enough that I have a sports podcast but like to have it just be about you, like me not correcting you when you say shit like there is a mass conspiracy perpetrated by Jew doctors. I'm out. I'm out. I'll talk to you later. Let's talk about football tomorrow.
All right, I want to bring you up to speed on the football season. This is now the next day, tomorrow. So there's this wide receiver named Antonio Brown, a mercurial but incredible star, and he's on the Oakland Raiders, and
First he's on our enemy, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Then he forces his way out.
He shows up to training camp in a hot air balloon. Everything I'm going to say is the following things are all true. He showed up to training camp in a hot air balloon. He got frostbite from going barefoot in a cryotherapy tank. He dyed his mustache blonde. He recorded his coach without his knowledge and then put it up on Instagram.
And a viral story that is not true, but is viral nonetheless, and people think it's true.
He punted a football at the owner.
And called the general manager a cracker.
Oh, a cracker, yeah. Anyway, all this led to...
is cool. And not true. But very cool.
All this led to him being traded to the Patriots, or cut, and then signing with the Patriots within minutes. And he's one of the best players in the NFL. He's incredible. And then it all seemed to be an act. Like he was just acting out to get off the lowly Oakland Raiders. And everyone was really excited, and he played...
no, but people were so mad.
People were really upset, too.
Were so mad that the Patriots, who had just won yet another Super Bowl, got one of the best players in the league. They were so mad. And then he shows up and he has instant success.
But then a couple of women started coming forward with rape allegations against him. He played in the game anyway, despite those allegations pending. And then before they could even really be tried out, a second woman released threatening text messages that he had sent her when she came forward with her own allegations, and the Patriots released him.
So I want to say this. We obviously don't want a rapist playing football, I guess. But I don't know what it's the question of how Antonio Brown, the wide receiver, relates to the means of production, I think is an interesting one. He's a worker, right?
Yes.
And Bob Kraft, who is a evil, Trump-loving Zionist who has his own problems with women, is the owner.
I mean,
and he released
sex workers is not a problem that you have with women, but sure, his wife is dead. Is that his problem with women?
Yeah, he's a Zionist, and he is known as a pig. That's the narrative out there. And so anyway, I don't know what to say, but it is weird how all of the things that they accused him of doing happened years ago.
Brown?
Yeah, happened while he was on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and nobody gave a shit about it. As soon as as soon as the sort of front page of newspapers got involved with Antonio Brown coming to the Patriots, which again pissed off everybody, including Andrew Yang, who tweeted, what did he tweet, Sam? God, I hate the Patriots.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, this dude who believes in God enough to curse them when it comes to the football team.
You clearly believe in God too. You're trying to fucking cut your unborn son's penis off to fucking bear the covenant. Anyway.
Best day of my life.
What's the best day of your life?
My circumcision. It's been downhill from there. So please stop hating on me. I want you to listen to me though.
It's really hard.
Isn't it
so
is it
difficult.
relevant at all that the allegations that came out, which were none of which were criminal in nature, all of which were like he was being sued for money, and
What are you talking about? But he raped a girl.
but she didn't go to the police. She sued him for something that happened 2 years ago once he signed with the Patriots. Which again, if true, I wouldn't want him on my team. But if it's not true, I wouldn't want like the owner. I don't know. Maybe we should just move on.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying I want you to prepare. What if the allegations were cleared and the Patriots re-signed him? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, we need some help, and we need some wide receiver help. Our offense looked really stalled
Against Buffalo.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard. It's not like he's been arrested or more allegations have come out since he left the team. It's like all of this swirls of accusations and attention was just like the whole country ganged up on the Patriots having Antonio Brown, and then as soon as he left the team, everyone stopped caring about him.
Yes, that's true. I will say I was having a hard time understanding this whole thing, and then someone I saw on the internet, like Vontez Burfict, who is now based on a legal hit that he had in this game yesterday, he's been suspended for the rest of the season. But there's a video of Vontez Burfict tackling Antonio Brown in the playoffs, like
knocking him
ago,
unconscious,
and he knocked him completely unconscious, and it's
viciously. It was scary.
It's a really scary, vicious hit, and then I'm like, oh yes, this sport is ruining people's lives, and not just the players, but clearly there's like repercussions.
Yeah, sure.
For the people that surround these people in life, their loved ones and their family and friends. So that being said, we need some offensive help. I'm a little bit worried that when we're going to be going up against, right? It's basically the whole season is just the Patriots versus the Chiefs. There's the only two teams that are going to win the Super Bowl.
Well, I think the Bills have a way better defense than the Chiefs do.
The Bills' defense is really good. That was very impressive.
And I think our offense is going to get better as our offensive line gets better, and maybe when our first-round pick comes back after Week 8.
Mm-hmm.
But
and also we're getting Benjamin Watson back this week.
Yeah,
which might help. He's been suspended the first 4 games because of PEDs, but he'll be a little bit of offensive help.
But that guy's really old.
I know. But he's at least another reliable pass catcher. Meanwhile, our defense looks scary good. The Patriots have one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best.
No, 100% they have the best.
Devin McCourty, who's one half of our twins, our defensive back twins, Devin McCourty has had an interception every single game.
Yeah, and his twin brother hasn't really been playing that much, it feels like. Or at least like he's like in a position where he can alternate, because we also have J.C. Jackson, who had 2 interceptions and a blocked punt against Buffalo.
He looks amazing.
And that other guy that we signed to an extension, Jonathan Jones.
Yeah, and also Jamie Collins, the return of our, one of my old favorite linebackers, Jamie Collins.
Yeah, it's so fun to have him.
And he's been playing incredible.
But, brother, we are 4-0. The Chiefs are 4-0. The 49ers are 3-0-1. Every other team has at least 1 or 2 losses.
Uh-huh.
Who do you think is good in the NFL right now? I don't think there's many good teams.
I think the Patriots and the Chiefs are the only 2 good teams in the NFL.
No, I mean the Saints are pretty good. They keep winning even though Drew Brees is out. They held. You're not worried about them?
No, not at all.
The Cowboys?
I guess no, not at all.
Are you worried about the Chiefs?
Yeah, extremely. They have the best player in the league by far. They have like LeBron James in his prime.
He's really good.
Patrick Mahomes. Um,
Well, we're playing Washington this week.
next week, that's correct.
The
What's the
what's
Go
the
ahead.
deal with him?
With who?
Well, we're playing a team that has a racial slur in its actual name.
Yes.
I feel like this is the one week of the year where we, as the Patriots fans, have moral high ground because even though Bob Kraft is an Israel fetishist and, there's like a lot of white supremacists who love, our team and love our quarterback. Did you see this article I sent you, by the way, about the rise of white nationalism and the love of Tom Brady? We should talk about that in a
Yes.
second.
Okay.
Did you read it, or did you just look at the
Yes.
thing I sent you?
I mean, what? I read the article you sent me.
Thank you. That usually doesn't happen. I really appreciate that.
Well, it was complete nonsense, and so I will not be reading any further articles that you send me.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But I mean, I just think like this is the week because we're playing the Washington Redskins that we get to be like, you guys are fucking assholes.
They're
Which
such
feels
assholes.
good.
Although I looked up Patriots on Twitter because I was trying to see if there. I saw a trade rumor. I was like trying to look it up, and it's just if you like type in Patriots into Twitter, it's just like dudes being like, "Don't worry, Trump, we got your back. If they fucking come for you, they'll we still got our guns and we'll take them out." Nancy Pelosi in the crosshairs. #Patriots.
Yo, the summer we were living together in Cape Cod, that Nas record came out where he's like talking about the black president, and he says this thing where it's like, I'm with my getting my guns. I'm with my crew. If Obama dies, we die too. You know, and it is true that like that's the same sort of idea about like if they take out this president, I will like declare war on this country. That Nas was talking about black people feeling around Obama is being felt by New England Patriots fans about Trump. Yeah, I don't know what to say other than like I'm glad misogynistic Patriots Twitter is thriving because it doesn't seem like any of those people are getting laid, which I think is good.
Well,
Ultimately.
I don't think it's not. No, they're not. It's not the same thing as the fans of this football team. Do you understand that? When they're hashtagging Patriots, it has nothing to do with Tom Brady and Bill
Oh,
Belichick.
I see. It's like Bill O'Reilly's Patriots and Pinheads,
I think so. Yeah.
or like the Patriot movement.
Right. The Patriot movement.
They also like our football team, Sam.
Max sent me this article
That
about.
Venn diagram there's a lot of overlap.
Wow. So my brother sent me this article that tried to tie Tom Brady's popularity, the rise in Tom Brady's popularity, with the rise of white nationalism and Trump, and like had all these weird. It like cited an Under Armour commercial that Brady was in as being like pulled out of a. What's that guy's name? Riefenstahl? How do you say it? Like a Nazi
I
war
don't know how to say it.
propaganda movie. And why did you send that to me, Max?
Because I think it's funny that that's in the zeitgeist. It's about our quarterback.
Do you think there's any validity to it?
Did you think it was funny when Das Racist made that video about Das Racist responding to Larry Bird saying the N-word, and then their response was them saying Das Racist?
I don't remember that.
Does that sound funny? It sounds very funny to me.
Sure.
The video was Das Racist responds to Larry Bird saying the N-word, and then it's just a picture. It's like a 2-second video of Das Racist saying Das Racist.
Okay. And why do you bring that up?
Because that's funny.
So, okay.
This
I'll
article
stop trying to
and this
tease out the
college
logic of your statements, and I'll just...
Yeah, your logic is a bourgeois construction and is based on like flawed race science. So I would trust your opinion on that. I just think like it's good for us to be aware as Patriots fan of the tenor surrounding our team, and that is that like there are members of the intelligentsia, there are university professors teaching our nation's children right now that the rise in white supremacy can be countenanced at least, and if not directly tied to the popularity of Tom Brady. Though I would hasten to mention that one of the things that makes Tom Brady popular, perhaps the only thing, is that he's much better at football than anyone else who's ever lived. So perhaps there is a correlation with the greatest player of our nation's most popular sport being a white dude, that people who are used to, being marginalized and feel marginalized because they are white would latch on to him.
But it's so crazy because Tom Brady, his personality outside of a football player is almost non-existent, and even in that article it cited his diet as like this. If you're a white nationalist who's feeling like down about how diverse the country is becoming and how like powerful people of color are physically or something, that you're supposed to take some inspiration from Tom Brady and his diet. Like it like seemed to suggest that Brady being on his diet was like speaking directly to incels and MAGA fools, like, but it's not like they're like MAGA kids sitting around like talking about how much they love avocado ice cream and how they go to bed at 7:30 at night and how they drink like 350 ounces of water a day. It's just like I guess Brady it speaks to him being a blank slate that you can project your own shit onto. But I mean, besides,
I have some shit I would like to project onto him.
Let's hear it.
Like, I just think it's like really cool that in the last decade he hasn't like joined Bob Kraft in his yearly trips to Israel. I think that reflects like a true evolution in his thinking, and it's nice that he has embraced the full principles of anti-Zionism. Isn't it? Isn't it great that our six-time Super Bowl winning quarterback is an anti-Zionist like me?
Why do you say he's an anti-Zionist? You're just projecting your
because
shit
he
onto
hasn't
him?
gone to Israel in the last 10 years.
Okay.
Since like the Gaza wars.
Yeah. Well, I like that he's a supporter of universal basic income, and he's against circumcision. He thinks that that's bullshit. And
does he think it's Jew doctors? I also think we have to ask ourselves if Gisele is Brazilian or like German Brazilian. Like, what's the deal? Like, only our Boston Sports podcast is going to get to the bottom of whether or not Gisele's family emigrated from Berlin to Brazil in 1946 after the fall of the Third Reich, fleeing German war crime tribunals. Accountability.
Wow. No wonder
Don't you
Brady
think it's
likes.
possible?
Yeah, and I think that's probably why Brady likes her so much too.
I mean, she's like Brazilian and very proud of her Brazilian hood, but
So is Eichmann.
Yeah, I mean, she's she looks like a German person, and if she's pro Bolsonaro, I mean, like that would be a deal breaker for me. I'm off. I'm no longer defending the family if they're pro Bolsonaro. Do you know if she is? Are you Googling this?
Yeah. I highly doubt that I'm going to find anything. Also, I have no idea how to spell Gisele. Oh, I got it right. But Bundchen, forget about it.
Yeah, it's wild. But like it has the reason I'm suggesting that she might have like Jewish blood on her hands is because she has an umlaut in her name, which I associate with Germans, and I do know that a lot of Germans fled Germany to Brazil to escape war crimes.
Wait. Bundchen is a German name.
Mm-hmm.
That was taken from German.
Let's stop looking this up.
Oh no!
Let's just end the
Bundchen
podcast.
is a Brazilian of German descent.
Yeah, let's end the podcast.
Born to Vania, a bank clerk pensioner.
A bank clerk pensioner?
Pensioner?
Yo, this dude sounds like he's that sounds like an assumed identity for a fucking Gestapo agent.
No, that's her mom. That's Vania Nanamasher. And her dad was Walter Bundchen, a college professor and writer. She learned German in school, but she claims to have forgotten the language after being out of touch with it.
Yo, does it say what he was a professor of? Is it like phrenology and...
Dude.
What does he write about? Is he old enough to be a Nazi, or is it his father?
Great question. Let's see. He doesn't have his own Wikipedia.
Well, I'm sure look him up on JSTOR. I'm sure he's made some sort of scholarly contribution if he's a fucking professor, unless he just got his university appointment for being a Nazi.
Oh my God. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in to Phone Wallet Keys, David Ortiz. Stay tuned next week, so we're going to expose some more Nazi
We're going to talk about
to...
the Redskins and how it was racist of them to even field a team against us.
What else? Will you, give us some anecdotes about British sports and politics that are less boring next time, too?
Yeah, no, it's totally boring to have anti-imperialism sucks. You're right. Let's just talk about, I don't know, fucking the Queen's daughter's dresses. You piece of, I hate you, brother. Goodbye.
Wait. I can't believe that the Democrats have tied their hopes on removing Trump to this idea that they're going to now, it's just going to be in everyone's fucking face for the next 6 months at least, if not more. That Joe Biden got his son, who is had gotten kicked out of Yale Law School for drugs, a job on a Ukrainian oil energy company, getting paid $40,000 a month
to do nothing.
To do absolutely nothing, and that's what we're all gonna tie our hopes to taking down Trump with. Is this story that just
no. I think this is good. I disagree with you. I mean, I think this is a win-win for us because it gives Biden more exposure, and Biden can't deal with exposure because he's a literal doddering old person. He needs he's gonna hurt somebody. He needs to be put in a home.